reported in the Australian today that there are Australian businesses, many big corporates, that are thinking about moving to a 4-day work week. Now, you're a business owner. Are your people clamoring for a 4-day week, and will you give it to them?
No one has even mentioned it, and no, I wouldn't. I mean, no one's even mentioned it or even flagged it or even said, hey, did you read? I mean, it is just, look, to each their own, and I think it might be a fad that turns around and bites people on the backside. If you have productivity, and let me just say this, my business is 20 years old and we have been flexibly working long before a pandemic forced people into it. Like, I know when the pandemic hit, I know of very mature, very large businesses that were scrambling to give their people the capacity to work flexibly. We've been working flexibly for a decade, so for us it was just a shift. I don't see this going anywhere personally.
Yeah, and I mean, don't you think that this would be the sort of thing where, you know, there's some people who can do their work at home on laptops and others who have to be frontline workers? Wouldn't this exacerbate all these sort of divisions we saw in the pandemic?
And also when you think about humans are designed for connectivity. It is our DNA, and there are a myriad psychological studies that will show you that our best creativity and our best results come from being with our colleagues in the same room.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I love going into the newsroom every day. But what I want to say, though, speaking of that sort of, issue of, wellness and everything like that, there's a more serious topic also to do with that. And that's the story that's been floating around for a little while, but we haven't had a chance to really dive into it here on Inside the News. The government is cutting, or they did from the 1st of January, the number of Medicare-funded psychology sessions from 20 to 10. Experts are saying this is a terrible idea, and the penny pinching will only lead to terrible outcomes and suffering. Gemma, the government is being pretty cold-hearted here, aren't they?
I think it's a disgusting move, and I think that they announced it, or when they announced it, to cover it up. I think this is a government that is going to be held accountable for this. If you've had any access or any interaction with this program, you know how important it is. You know that it actually delivers outcomes. I think it is genuinely a disgusting, mean-spirited, awful move by this government. They should be ashamed of themselves.
And what do you think the reaction would have been had it been a coalition government?
Well, we know what the answer to that is. I mean, the pearls would have been clutched. It would have been all kinds of, you're an awful person. We know there is a mental health crisis in this country. So what does the Albanese government do? Oh, we're just going to strip millions of dollars from the area that Australians need it most.
Indeed. Well said. Maybe somebody in Canberra is listening to that. Thank you so much, Gemma Tognini, for your insights, and especially on what's happening at our beaches. Thank you so much.
Beach correspondent Tognini.
Beach correspondent Gemma Tognini. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.